Hello and welcome back to the award-winning FPL Apprentice, still the only podcasting series that delves into the mind of one of the greatest players of all time. It is, of course, former world number one, Mr. Matthew Corbridge. Matt, how are we today, mate?
Yeah, good, good generally. FPL wise, tough week. All will be revealed, but
Yeah,
yeah, kind of played a free hit, and yeah, interesting outcomes on it. But yeah, all good. Can't complain. I'm not one to let fancy dominate in my life, so I'm good, mate. Yourself? And you're
I'm
looking very
glad that
smart as
one
well.
of the.
You're
Oh, cheers,
looking
mate.
sharp and smart. Is it special
Yeah,
occasion, or was it just episode 110? You just want to mark that milestone.
mark the occasion, get the red carpet out. You don't become award winners without putting a shirt on now and again. Just dressing up for you, mate. But yeah, I used to. FPL used to ruin my weekends, but I've come to the realization that you do quickly forget when you've had a good game week, the bad weeks. So no point in letting it, right? Uh,
You're a content creator now,
I
aren't you? Dare I say, we might with some form of content creators, right? 110 episodes in, so bad games, interesting stories. That's good content, right?
exactly,
So
exactly that. And that's why you did it. We're going to start with me, right? We'll kick in to our teams. We'll start with me because mine is less interesting. So we'll save your one for next. Let me just share my screen. But I ended up having a pretty reasonable game week. Hopefully you can see this, Matt. Game week 16, 84 points on the board, a game week rank of 757,000. So in that top million always gets you a fairly decent green arrow, and I've ended up going from 46k to just outside the top 32k. So yeah, very happy with that. I did two transfers. I took out Declan Rice, bought in Saka. That was a plus 9 points on that transfer. And to fund that, I took out Enzo, bought in Dewsbury Hall, who very unfortunately got injured within 15 minutes of that game. Enzo ended up getting 3 points. Dewsbury Hall got one, so that's a -2. And if I hadn't owned Saka, mate, I'd have ended up captaining either Bruno Fernandes or Haaland. They both got 13, so I'm down on the captaincy by 2 points. But it's a net gain of 5. So happy enough with that. I'll run through my squad for those that are listening on Spotify. I had Ray in goal, 2 points. Anderson at the back with 2 points as well. Did he get DEFCON? I'm assuming he did. He
he
did. Of
did,
course, he
yeah.
got DEFCON. He always gets DEFCON. So 2 points for him for that. I then got very lucky with two clean sheets. O'Reilly for City got a clean sheet and 6 points. But if you look at the expected goals conceded, Palace hit the woodwork twice. Expected goals of 1.88. So he very much got away with a clean sheet there. And very similar story with Virgil van Dijk. Uh, Brighton with expected goals of 1.9. So I do feel very fortunate there, mates. 12 points from O'Reilly and Van Dijk. And then across the midfield, I've mentioned Dewsbury Hall already with one, but then ended up getting Saka captain. He got 11. At one point, it was, has he got 0 assists? Has he got one? Has he got two? Nobody knew. But we had a bit of a long wait to get that second one assigned to him. But he got 11, doubled up to 22. Pretty happy with that as a new signing. Foden came in. Now, I appreciate you're going to hate this, mate. He got so lucky. If you look at his expected goal involvement data, 0.15. I took a shot from outside the box. It ended up going in, so that picked him up
You got
points for
DEFCON
that.
as
He got
well,
a clean sheet point.
which is the biggest surprise. I'm sure that's the first time he's ever done it in his career. Yeah, fair. He played well, right? I think
Yeah,
kind of
defensively, I think
like
Guardiola came out, didn't he? It was like, look, defensively, he's probably the best I've seen him. From an attacking point of view, he wasn't there at all. He was like, one of the worst players on the pitch, and that's from Pep. I mean, the defensive contribution shows the defensive work. He did pick up those 2 points, and he got a bonus. Look, I'm not complaining about Foden being in the squad. He's obviously done very well over the last couple of weeks, but recognise fairly fortunate to get maybe 11 this week. Semenyo, even though Bournemouth scored 4, wasn't really that involved creatively. Expected goals
yeah.
of 0.17. So, um, again, did I get away with 6 points potentially? But I'm here for it. And then Bruno Fernandes in that same game, 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 bonus, far more involved, 0.65 on his expected goal involvement. So happy with his performance. And then up top, Thiago on 2. Didn't do as much as I thought he would. He ended up being my vice captain because I bought Saka in for the captaincy armband. Look at that, 0.01. 90 minutes at home, non-existent in that entire game.
Well,
I didn't think
they
I
were
would.
poor. They were poor, weren't they?
Yeah,
Brentford were
very
bad
poor.
full stop. Surprised at that. Surprised.
Yeah, very. And there was a point in which they got given a penalty. Obviously, VAR overturned it correctly. Thiago generally puts away penalties, so I thought I might get some points there, but wasn't to be. And then Haaland, 13 points. One of the very few weeks, as I don't captain him, that his points hurt me. So secretly trying to call for his points to not happen. And if you look at his data, 0.96 expected goals sounds a lot. Well, let's remember one of them was a penalty, which is 0.8. And an unnecessary penalty at that from Palace's point of view, but is what it is. And then obviously his header um, got him 2 goals and 3 bonus, so he ended up on 13. So yeah, mate, not much to tell. That's it. 84 points, a solid green arrow, taking me back up the ranks to 32k.
Yeah, good looking
Anything you
team.
want to ask?
Good looking team. Great rank and yeah, like a very honest description there in terms of kind of like where you have some good players that maybe outperformed like, kind of some of the underlying stats there. But yeah, you got to take it. You got to take it. I'd be feeling
100%.
chuffed. Yeah, looking
Well,
good.
now, I'll stop sharing mine and pass over to you because I've just gone through, and I think if off the top of my head there were 4 players I've looked at and gone, God, I was lucky to get points from them. You've had the complete opposite, like points that should have come that didn't.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. So let me not share my screen. Let me share my window. Share screen. All right, let's jump onto this one. Cool. So hopefully you can see.
We have got it.
Cool. So yeah, I play FreeHit, which is the big news. So I don't know. I think in normal seasons I'd be putting. How would you quantify a good FreeHit? I'd say like it's quite a powerful chip when there's double game weeks, right? So I'd be putting it as like net 10 to 15 points gain from your previous team. I'd say that's like a solid one. Hard to say in a single game week, right? But I'd be looking like up to 5 to 10 extra points compared to my old team would be positive. I kind of ran the numbers and my pre-free hit team would have outperformed this by 15 points. Right, so I'd be finishing on very similar points to you. If I've been honest, I would have moved probably Van Dijk to Hincapie anyway. So if I've taken into account I've done that, my free hit team net 13 points down. So that's pretty bad. That's kind of really bad, but like easy enough to claw that back over the length of the season. And it certainly felt worse during the weekend. But I'll go for my my team, and then I'll talk about the logic of why I played free hit, the players, and just some of the kind of like frustration. So 67 points. Those that can't see, Leno with 3, went double Fulham defense. Anderson with the 2. I guess I can say why I went kind of double Fulham, right? I kind of think that Burnley is the weakest attack. So I was kind of, and I think Fulham have a decent defense, right? However, the last couple of weeks, they've just kind of like expected goals conceded 2.46, right? They were poor against Burnley, right? So I was like super shocked, right? So it seems like they're just going super gun ho the last like 3 game weeks versus this like quite. And that's why I didn't bring in Wilson as well. Some people brought in kind of Wilson, and he's continued his purple patch, right? But I just didn't think Fulham could score more than 1 goal. Nor did I think they'd be conceding more than 1 goal. So I was super surprised there. But I went Leno and Anderson. Went double Arsenal defense, which I think was like super logical. So Hincapie and Lewis Skelly. I think Wolves weakest team in the league at the moment. I think Arsenal should have probably kept a kind of clean sheet. I think expected goals conceded was 0.2 8. So like, yeah, kind of super low. Wolves didn't really have many chances. In the end, I was kind of glad that they conceded because obviously, yeah, seeing Lewis Skelly benched was like frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Especially as he came on, mate. He came on in like the 31st minute or something, just
yeah, I
missing
think
out.
it was like 2 seconds. Yeah, I kind of missed the 60-minute thing piece by like 2 seconds, right? So I think that kind of says it all. But I brought him in. I remember like texting you. I kind of just thought that he had a greater chance of playing because Calafiori was completely out, right? And then my logic was if it was Timber will probably play centre back, and then White would probably play right back. Skelly would play left back. And I was thinking, oh, just if Saliba is back, right? Timber will surely
Yeah.
play right back where he's been playing the whole season, right? Instead of kind of White. But yeah, of course, Timber actually started like Saliba did start, but yeah, kind of Lewis Skelly kind of remained on the bench over White. So yeah, I was kind of really surprised by that. I was anticipating something like that, but kind of, yeah, got the call wrong, of course. And then yeah, midfield you spoke
I'm
about
assuming,
Saka.
mate. Sorry to jump in. I'm assuming you couldn't afford to get Lewis Skelly to Timber.
Um, I didn't want to risk it because of the injury concerns.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could have, yeah. Like if you look at my team, I didn't need Raul Jimenez, right? Is that on the bench?
True. Yeah.
Konsa, Vandenberg could have been 4.0 defenders. So I could have afforded him, yeah, by just like tweaking a few other options, right? But yeah, I thought I was playing the smart kind of play because like Timber, remember, was like an injury risk going into this game week, right? So
It's the
that's
Champions
why,
League, right?
yeah, he missed it, and the kind of like training picks and the kind of like I guess words from Arteta weren't that reassuring, right? So yeah, I honestly thought Lewis Skelly was the the safest option there. And why I didn't go kind of Raya, I had Raya on my team, my free hit team, right? So it's kind of nice to change it up a little bit. And also I thought Lewis Skelly probably had a higher ceiling than Raya, which is like 6 points. But then into my midfield, you've spoken about Saka. I captained kind of Saka and Fernandez. 3 guys that I brought into my free hit team: Mbumo, Slobozai, Dango. Dango I brought in just because I thought Brentford's an okay attack, especially at home, and like Leeds are quite open, right? I was really disappointed with them. On another day, Dango could have got an assist for like a penalty and whatnot, but I think Brentford were very poor. Szoboszlai, why did I go him over Harry Wilson or others, right? So he's a generous price point. He was a nice price point, right? 6.7 is like quite a cool price point. He obviously had scored in Europe last week, right?
Yeah.
And then
Penalty.
there was like room, and then exactly. So he was the penalty taker when Isak and Salah weren't on the pitch, right? Ekatike was on the pitch and others, right? So and McAllister, right? So it's like, wow, this is new news. Gomez has been playing at right back for 5 game weeks plus, right? Szoboszlai's been playing as attacking midfield, right? Sometimes winger, right? And there's rumours going into this weekend, and I thought I was looking at I like looking at bookies odds and like who's expected to score most goals. Bookies odds were saying Liverpool were up there, right? 2 or more expected goals, like based on bookies odds. So I thought was a nice route in. Ekatike plays a worse position, right? Because he's a forward, so less ways to score points, right? Szoboszlai is a little bit more nailed and a lot cheaper, right? So that's why Szoboszlai over kind of Ekatike. And there was rumours on penalties playing attacking, and then there was like some quite solid leaks pre-lineups that Salah was going to be benched and Isak wasn't going to be playing, right? So I was thinking, happy days. Szoboszlai playing attacking midfield or right winger. You started right winger on Pence for a good amount of the game. And that's what happened, right? That's what I was predicting. I was predicting Liverpool to score a few goals. Of course, I couldn't predict Gomez getting injured 10 minutes into the game. And Szoboszlai obviously going back to right back and then Salah coming in, which kind of killed his chances, right? So obviously, if I knew he was playing right back, I wasn't going to bring him in. But the logic was right winger. And then Mbumo, I kind of really liked the Manchester United attack the last couple of weeks and haven't liked the Bournemouth defence. It was a high scoring game, right? It was 4-4, right? Yeah, kind of another day
Weird
and
game.
Bruno get 2 returns, and his underlying stats are pretty good. It was like 0.9 XGI, right? So another game he kind of performs really, really well. And then Thiago was always going to be in my team, as was Haaland. So that was my squad. Now let me kind of so really frustrating game week, given I was like net 15 down. But let me talk about the logic and kind of like how I'm going to justify some of the stuff. So this was my free hit team, right? So Rise there, Van Dijk is there, Anderson's there, double Palace defense, Minter, Saka, Fernandes, Semenyo, Foden, Thiago, Haaland. So like key differences from this team, my free hit team, to my free hit team, right? Double Arsenal, double Fulham defense, and getting rid of double Fulham and double Arsenal defense, getting rid of Van Dijk and getting rid of Palace defense, right? So you already pointed this out, but Van Dijk, he got 6 points
twice.
in a normal game. There we concede twice, right? And they've been leaky, right? So I was like, don't really want that. And then obviously Palace conceded 3 times, right? Better defense, but like it was against City, right? Arsenal, the Arsenal defense, as we said, 0.38 expected goals conceded, right? Obviously, I picked the wrong players, right? In Hincapi, right? In Lewis Skelly, but you can see the logic, right?
Yeah.
Fulham, they were bad. I'm not going to ignore that, but I think Fulham against Burnley is better than Palace against Man City, right? And Liverpool against Brighton from a defensive point of view. You'd think going in, right? So that's the logic there. And then midfield, the differences were essentially Semenyo, Foden, and Minter versus Dango, right? Dango, Sloboslai, and Mbuma, right? So
I think fixture-wise, I'm rooting for who you bought in.
Minter Dango, kind of Minter Dango, right? Minter got 2 points, Dango got 2 points, right? Both didn't really. Well, Minter actually performed better on the line.
I did.
But
well.
Dango against Leeds home is better than Minter against away at Liverpool, right? So I'm not, and they scored equal points, so that didn't really kill me. But like if anyone says Minter was better than Dango going into this game week, they're kind of crazy. Now Semenyo, Foden. Now Semenyo, I was always going to get out, right? So Semenyo versus Sloboslai, right? Semenyo did nothing like in that game, right? 0.17. Sloboslai had better underlying stats despite playing right back for 80 minutes, right? I'm not going to cry about that.
Doors.
You got 6 points as well. It's not a huge difference, but and Sloboslai got 3. Sloboslai, I mean, if he played that right wing, he would have outscored Semenyo, right? Then it was just Foden, right? Foden's in great, and I did consider keeping him, right? Because one of the things I wanted to do with my free hit team is not cause any damage, right? So I did want to play cautious, but I was thinking, fuck it, right? I think that Palace game is going to be tough for Man City, and it was. They should have lost, right? If you look at underlying stats, right? And I think United are going to be good from an attacking point of view. Right, Foden got 11 points. His expected goal involvement was like 0.15. That's shocking. Right, to come out with 11 points on that is kind of shocking. And Bumo, 0.9. Right, so again, I think my process going into it, maybe I could have been more cautious and just like kept Foden because he keeps scoring points, right? But that's not a good way to play FPL, my experience. You've got to predict, looking at how many you're predicting, right? So my logic was, I think that Palace game is tougher for Man City. I think that game against Bournemouth has got good attacking potential for Manchester United. And then, so that's the logic going into it. I think that's sound. And then looking at the game state, I was right. One guy's got 0.15 expected goal involvement. One's got 0.9. So that says someone's getting in all the positions to score the goals. They just didn't get lucky or fortunate, right? The dice didn't roll in their right direction. Obviously, the outcome wasn't right, but the logic, the thought process was fine, right? So like all the things I was predicting statistically turned out to be correct. It was just in terms of outcomes, they didn't come right. So I'm feeling
feel the pain.
But like it'd be different. Like that kind of like Fulham one. Like, yeah, I was completely wrong with what I was predicting. All the other things, the logic was that the logic that I was anticipating were that. I mean, the like Brentford were terrible, right? But the two killers, like kind of like Van Dijk,
I didn't.
Foden, and Semenyo.
Yeah.
The options I brought him did better, just didn't score the points. And so, yeah, I mean, like, super
Feel the
frustrating,
pain.
super frustrating game. But yeah, 67 points. I'm ranked 150k now. I could have done with those extra 15 points. I'd probably be about 80k now, but still solid enough rank. But yeah, for me, these first half chips has really killed me. Right, I think without these, I'd be maybe top 25k. Right, so chips should be helping you with points. Right, my chips are being triple captain for 2 points, bench boost for 8 points, and then free hit for minus 15 points. Right, so the free chips net negative minus 5 points, and I think kind of like some people played them very well, and they're probably looking at what a net 40-point swing, potentially higher. Right, you get 15 points with a good bench boost, 15 points or more over triple captain. That's 30. Some people got like 25-point swings on their free hits. Right, so I'm probably being conservative with how I'm saying how
Look,
good some people have done it. So that's a huge swing. So
you
I
now,
mean,
I'm not here to. I'm not trying to rub it in, right? I'm not trying to or anything. I worked it out just because you mentioned this before. I think my chips got me a positive 46.
exactly.
And I
And to
don't
be
think
honest, like
I did
some
anything
people
over
played
the
it better.
top.
No, some people have
Yeah,
like got even sweeter weeks. Like free hit 2 weeks ago
yeah,
was like some people are getting 30 points, 40 points on that alone, and some people bench boost on 20. So that's a huge difference. That
yeah.
explains like how many points do you want now?
1,016, 1,015.
Yeah, so I'm on 983. So like if there was no chips, I'd be ahead of you.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
it kind of make a big difference. But yeah, I've really struggled with them actually the last couple of years really. So yeah, I'd love boring FPL. No
I've got some good news for you, Matt.
no chips, no
Got some good news.
no captain even, just like boring transfers. That's me, just that boring grind. That's what I'm all about.
Well, you can't play any chips for the next 3 game weeks, so there's some positives.
Well, there's going to be a kind of very highly owned triple captain
Yeah,
Haaland
this
against the
week.
kind of West Ham, which that's going to be fun. But
Yeah, as long as it's effective ownership's below 200%, mate, we'll ride the wave.
spot on. But anyway, kind of like let's kind of move on because I just kind of
Yeah,
moan a little bit. But
forget this week. Forget it.
it's just these chips just done my head in this first half. They've been doing my head in for this added element of randomness, right? I think like transfers,
Yeah,
you can always kind of a single game week is always a bit up in chance and kind of random. Obviously, that's why we play chips in double game weeks or blank game weeks, right? Because it kind of increases the odds and kind of chances of stuff. It's always a bit swingy. And yeah, I've been on the receiving end of this swing, but hey, I'm kind of happy where I'm like coming up to midpoint of the season outside of those chips and that free hit. That was better weeks to play it. It wasn't the best. A couple of weeks ago would have been the best time to play it for sure. I was waiting for something to happen. Nothing really materialized. I think this was the best week for me to play it. I've explained the logic. Some of this,
yeah,
the action, not outcomes, actions in the matches. Kind of said, yeah, I had a bit of logic, right? I wasn't talking madness, right? Some of the stuff that was happening in the match just like suggests that I had some decent logic. But yeah, outcomes didn't happen. But mate, let's move on. And you want to do a bit of a deep dive into midfielders, right? Just because I know AFCON's now AFCON has kind of started, and that we do have a lot of people would have moved their AFCON players out, obviously because with the 5
yeah.
transfers. But I think we just noted a lot of the key AFCON players are midfielders, but also hey, it's an interesting dynamic, right? Because I think there's a few
Yeah,
premiums that everyone's quite interested in, right? Kind of Fernandez,
Seems to
Foden,
be.
Saka to a
That's
lesser
it. Seems to
extent, but
be
yeah, the fourth
the
and fifth
most.
midfield. There's lots of options, right?
That's it.
Especially,
Seems to be the most interesting bit, but as you say, Mbuemo, NDI, Sarr, maybe dare I say people might still have Salah, Awobi, Marmoush, and then
yeah.
obviously the biggest name of them all, Adingra, all heading off. So I've got to say that because I had them in game week 1, 2, and 3. But they're all off to AFCON. So, and you're right, like when you look at strikers, it's like, well, Haaland, Thiago, maybe another. People's defence, Arsenal, maybe have a Liverpool with their fixtures, maybe a City, and then 4.5s that are really good at DEFCON. Whereas the mids are a bit more exciting. There's more to. There's more. There's
I
more
think so.
to.
I think there's like 2 or 3 quite obvious ones, but yeah, like the lower price mids, the fourth and fifth, definitely there's kind of some options here. I think I'd say Saka, Foden, and Fernandez probably a glue player. Some people might not necessarily have kind of Saka, but yeah, I think those are the 3. But like let's kind of have a look, and what we'll do is we'll bring up
Yeah,
some
yeah.
fixed stuff, and we'll talk
I think
about
they're on
how.
your screen, mate.
Yeah, so we'll bring bring them up, and we'll do a view of the retrospect, who's performing well from expected FPL points, and then look at some of the predicted points. So let me bring it up. Let me know when it's good.
It is good.
Cool. So yeah, logic. So I played here is like since game week 10, so like the last kind of like what's that? Yeah, last 2 months or
6, 7
also
game weeks.
yeah, last 6 or 7 game weeks. Who's doing well from expected FPL points? And yeah, we can do points, but that shows like the swinginess. I think expected FPL is a better reflection. So yeah, up
Wow.
front, well, it's the top 3 that we said, right? Fernandez, Saka, Foden, right? Then it gets
Bruno is so far ahead.
well, he's played the best,
Yeah.
and like recently, the last 3 game weeks is he's got lucky in terms of points, right? But when you even out in the season, there's not much different. For the season, it's flat, or he's been unlucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, last 7 games weeks, he's slightly lucky, which you don't normally see. But like, he's been by far the best player FPL wise, right?
Oh, look
So
at that. Like top for shots, top for attempted assists.
yeah, I think
Fair play.
there's been a gift. This kind of 5 free transfers pieces has been a gift for people who didn't own it. But he might still have some kind of doubters. But I think that's probably long gone now. And then next up
Well,
is
I was one of them. Despite owning him, I was one of his doubters. I didn't sell him.
for sure. Then you got Saka, and I think what's interesting with Saka is probably the expected points per minutes. He's played almost a game less than Fernandez, and kind of half a game less than Foden, right? So really strong performance. 45 points, 44 expected FPL points, right? So yeah, I think you obviously made that call this week going in, like move Rice to Saka, who's the best Arsenal option. And that's right. Like he's looking good from shot perspective, shots on target, right? Attempting a lot of assists, a lot to love, right?
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
Foden, who he's running hot, expected FPL points of 43, actual FPL points of 64. Maybe a lot of that is last weekend.
This week.
Yeah, it's this week. The one I kind of take him out. But yeah, I think if I was looking at who's performing well and who I want in my team, I think it's those are the big 3. Would you agree?
Yeah, you nailed it, mate. I mean, I know I
Um,
had Rice, and Rice has got more points this season than Saka.
yeah,
But just watching Arsenal, Saka's the. So I had to make the move.
and we'll shift it around to like actual points now. But yeah, after that, interesting. We got kind of Wilson, 37 expected points last. He's running very hot, right? 55 points against those 37, but he's doing well, right? He's kind of performing really well, and he's a very generous price point of 5.6. Some of his competition has gone to AFCON, right? So I think that doubts around minutes is disappearing. And like sometimes you've got to embrace opportunities when they come up in FPL. And a lot of people have Dewsbury Hall. Wilson's a very nice off ramp, right? Especially given the next 3 fixtures for Fulham. So yeah, I think people that got that option, like kind of happy days. There's Ahmad, who's not really option now. Gomez and Boomer, who's not an option as well, of course, going to AFCON. Enzo Rice, Neto Cherky, and Rogers. Yeah, any of those names stand out to you? I think it's probably this man highlighted, right, in terms of Wilson.
Yeah, Kirky's annoying me. purely because he's started every game since I've sold him back after being benched for the 2 games I
Oh,
owned him. But that's for
you can
different
sell
reasons.
Fernandez or Foden for him, right?
I'll pass. I'll leave them in. Rogers obviously picked up 2 goals.
Yeah,
Again, another one that's overperforming, but Villa won 9 out of their last 10 games. Villa are absolutely flying, and he's a big part of it. I'd consider
well, they're
Rogers.
getting
The
lucky.
only
They're getting
downs,
lucky. Though. They get there's
yeah.
like there's quite a lot of beef between like some of these big X accounts that talk about expected goals and then Villa fans. like,
Well,
um,
I get it because he's, as you can see there, he's 31.8 points expected, 44 actually gained. And that price point stinks me. If you've got Wilson, sorry, if you've got Saka, Foden, Bruno Fernandes, to then have a 7.1 is difficult. So I'm not sure I
yeah,
could get him in.
no, defo.
Unless it's,
Uh,
well, I suppose I could sell Semenyo from it, but
well, I
uh,
was going to
he's
say it was not on here. Semenyo was not on here. He was
yeah,
a highly owned kind of like player and like got points, but very fortunate this weekend. But let's just shift you to points. Yeah, Foden goes top, right? Fernandez, Wilson, Dewsbury Hall was there. He was running, wow, very hot.
yeah.
Obviously not an option now of his injury. Saka, Rogers, Chergi, Bruno Guimaraes, Casemiro, Anderson, Rice, Neto. Neto's interesting. Honestly, I think he's ticking away quite nicely, but it's at that challenging price point. What price point
Yeah.
are you interested in, mate? Let's play it. Let's put a price point in.
Well, two to be fair. So I have got Semenyo. Now I'm not going to sell him this week because he's gone Burnley, so I'll leave him in for that fixture. But he's 7.5. I've also got Dewsbury Hall, who is injured. Now, I can upgrade him, but it
Let's
means
go
getting
sub eight
some money
then.
out
Yeah?
of a defender.
Sub eight.
Uh, so yeah, go with 8. Go with 8. I think that's not a bad move. I could get Semenyo up to an 8 million if I needed to.
Yeah, let's go sub eight. Let's go sub eight. What have we got? So yeah, Ahmad not been an option, but yeah, Wilson seems to be the obvious one. Enzo Fernandez, who's come off a little bit, but I think Chelsea are ticking along very nicely.
So
Rice,
so
Neto.
Enzo, mate. Obviously, Palmer's back. He's in the squad. Enzo's maybe a bit further back, and Palmer's now going to be taking penalties again. Do you expect those stats to drop because of Palmer's return?
He's been playing as in a double pivot for the last 5 game weeks, though, right?
Even when Palmer's been on the pitch?
Well, yeah, when Palmer's on the pitch, yeah, all the time. But like they were playing with Pedro and the lap, weren't they, for a
Lap.
couple of weeks?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think Wilson's standing out as the obvious one, both in terms of underlying stats and points. So I think it's a bit of a gift,
Price.
a great price and great next couple of fixtures. But let's have a look at actually predicted points, which I think sometimes we take them with a pinch of salt. Let's have a see let's have a little nosy. Yeah, it looks like Wilson's looking nice. Okay, let's go for position midfield. Yeah,
Bruno.
wow, there you
Wilson second.
are. Yeah, this is annoying me because, like, I think he is a great option. Just look at those next couple of fixtures: Burnley, no, upcoming fixtures. Sorry, Forest, West Ham, Palace, Liverpool. Yeah, it's a nice little run in terms of attacking fixtures. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice little on ramp for kind of Wilson, and I'm hating that because I know Dewsbury Hall is kind of fairly highly owned. So yeah, it seems to be a
And
bit of a
they're all going to go to Wilson.
yeah. I don't know if there's a huge amount of options. So yeah, Fernandez will assume we're given an for those that are listening. Fernandez is the top for the next. We've got 6 game weeks there by quite some margin, rightly so. Then there's Wilson, 26.6. Then Saka, 26.3. Then Newcastle, Bruno. Then McAllister. Then Rice. Then Semenyo. Then Foden. Not much to differentiate really. You know who I like a lot? Actually, not now, but from game week 19 onwards, Cunha. I think
Yeah.
will emerge as a very nice option. Minter's there as well. Yeah,
Oh,
I think Minter's a interesting midfielder as well. But yeah, I mean, it's really
really.
Who's
haven't
standing
really.
out for you?
I think there's some. I mean, yeah, Wilson is slapping you in the face, right? He's from a sub 8 million top performer over the last couple of game weeks, both in terms of actual points and expected points, and projected to be a second, and he's 5.6 million. So he's staring me blankly in the face, going, "I'm going to replace Dewsbury Hall in your team." So we'll discuss that next. How I managed to afford him. I'm surprised to see people like McAllister ahead of Foden. That's it. That's
Yeah,
interesting to
I
me.
think
I
again,
don't.
like I think we don't have access to all the underlying bits, right, to amend, right? So it could be like minutes uncertainty, right? But yeah, he's not going to score more than Foden, is he? Right? I think.
You wouldn't think so. I'm a big fan of Bruno.
I think.
Bruno seems to be getting points left, right, and centre. He is, very attacking. Even when he comes off the bench, he gets a goal for Newcastle. Also,
Yeah, no,
pretty handy with a DEFCON. Um, he could come into the squad, but I don't know what are the Newcastle fixtures looking like. I think he's jumped to like the third or
tough.
fourth best scoring player
Not quite.
in
Yeah,
the
Chelsea
midfield. That
home,
is.
Manchester United away, Burnley away, Palace home, Leeds home,
Okay, so
Porto away. So
19
it's just,
onwards.
yeah, it's just this week, yeah, kind of United or 19 onwards, 18 or 19 onwards is nice. And like, you go Gordon, wouldn't you? Really, if you're looking for a,
Yeah,
and he's taken a penalty, hasn't he? Since the last penalty, even when Volta made was on the pitch, right?
yeah,
So
twice.
I think, yeah, exactly. So he's their best attacker, really. Like, really, let's be honest, Gordon is, and Newcastle, I think, a nice squad. But I think we'll get some momentum now. I think, as a Semenyo owner myself, look at him.
Yeah,
One good
nice
fixture,
exit point. Yeah,
and it's like game week 18, he becomes like you can get rid of him, no regrets. Then, right? I think it's like they're going through a weird moment, Bournemouth, right? And then it's, Burnley home, then it's Brentford away, Chelsea away, Arsenal home, Spurs home, Brighton away. That's a bad run, right? So
yeah,
nice little exit point for Semenyo to someone, which could be a Gordon, it could be a Wilson, it could be into anyone to kind of kind of free up
yeah,
some kind of funds. But yeah, I'm looking at that. But I think for you, looking at this, it seems to be Wilson sticks out like a sore thumb as the most
yeah.
obvious option.
And with
Anything
you,
else from you?
Semenyo owner. Well, I'm the same boat, mate. I'm a Semenyo owner currently. I'll give him obviously the Burnley game, 5.6 expected points, leave him in for that one. But then could happily jump off him in 18, 19, bring in a Newcastle midfielder. Uh, yeah, looking at that as a potential route.
Yeah, nice.
Depending on how much money I've got, Gakpo, if Gakpo's back and Liverpool are still
Yeah,
playing a bit better from an attacking point of view, he could become an
no,
option for me.
agree. Agree. Yeah. I think there's a few teams where it's wait and see what happens, right? I think Manchester City being one who's like becomes the second best midfield option if suddenly someone gets
You'll
injured
get
or
Kirky,
whatnot.
Kirky
Yeah, I
back,
mean,
Kirky and
like
Foden.
it could be viable, isn't it? They're looking like pretty hot from an attacking point of view. Likewise with like Liverpool, right? It's like I see who emerges, right? Um, but yeah, like I think it's pointing to some kind of obvious moves. Well, there's an obvious three, right?
Yeah,
Fernandez, Saka, and Foden, which most people have got to or will get to, I think, quite easily. And then it's like plus two others, right? I think, many might have Semenyo still. I think it's really this is the last week for him, really. I have issues playing him, but I'm not,
yeah.
I wouldn't be desperate. But yeah, I think for others, Wilson becomes a very nice fifth midfield option for sure. But mate,
Weird, isn't it,
saying
that
that,
you can afford these players? But sorry to butt in there, mate. But it's weird that you can have Haaland up front and then still afford Foden, Bruno, Saka, and then still have a decent squad around it.
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Kind of like it's um, yeah, easy to manage at the moment, but like kind of there'll be stuff that kind of emerges pretty quick. I mean, it would have been like without the five transfers, it would have been a lot tougher to kind of get to this to that sort of structure. But yeah, mate, should we do team reveals?
Yeah, we'll
Do you
do
want to go
game week
first?
17. I can go first. Mine's as we've just gone through the midfield, it is pretty much staring me in the face. It's just about then how do I afford to do it? But quite happy with the squad, to be honest with you, mate. Looking at the start, and so for those that are listening, I've got Ray in goal. He's away at Everton. Across the defence, Anderson at home to Forest, O'Reilly at home to West Ham. I've just seen it. Man City did start O'Reilly in the cup today, but he got subbed off in the 65th minute, so hopefully resting for the weekend. Also got Van Dijk away at Tottenham, Richards away at Leeds. Across the midfield, Bruno Fernandes away at Villa, Semenyo at home to Burnley, Foden at home to West Ham, Saka away at Everton, and then up front, Thiago away at Wolves, and Haaland back with the captaincy armband at home to West Ham, Dewsbury Hall on the bench, Keane and Mark Guiu even. Pretty happy with the squad. I've got 4 transfers, mate. Obviously the Dewsbury Hall injury, I probably would have played him and I'd have probably benched Van Dijk if I'm honest. I think Liverpool are still very leaky away at Tottenham. Tottenham have been scoring quite a few goals in the Champions League. Okay, they had a bad weekend in the Premier League, but I think they're usually up for big games, right? Tottenham always beat City. I think they generally get goals against Liverpool. So I'd probably bench Van Dijk and started Dewsbury Hall, even though he's got Arsenal. It gives me, right, I'm just going to bring up the transfer page. It gives me the opportunity to maybe, get rid of Dewsbury Hall. I'll wait until Friday. If the news on Dewsbury Hall is, look, he's probably only going to miss that Arsenal game, I'm not too worried about replacing him. Reason being, I got him in for game week 18 onwards anyway, where he gets, Burnley, Forest, Brentford, Wolves, Villa, Leeds, a very nice run of fixtures. So if it looks like he'll be back for that Burnley game, I might leave him in. If it looks as though he's going to be out for longer, then if I bring in Wilson, which looks like he is going to be the obvious pick, we've just run through the reason why, so I won't delve into that at all. It's then where do I get 0.5 million from? Now, I've been looking at it, mate, and I think there's 2 options here. Number 1 is get rid of Van Dijk. I'm kind of opposed to get rid of Van Dijk for mainly for game week 18 and 19. A home to Wolves, a home to Leeds. They're very, very nice fixtures for him. Very nice fixtures for Liverpool. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, right, who can I replace him with? And I think Canate is an option. And the reason I say that is if you look over the last 5 game weeks, DEFCON was a big thing for Van Dijk. If you add those numbers up, he's had 52 DEFCON. Well, Canate happens to be £0.5 million cheaper. So all of a sudden, it allows me to pay for Wilson. And over that same time frame, he's had 51 DEFCON. So he's 1 shy. From an attacking point of view, they're pretty much neither here nor there. Canate actually scored in the Champions League. Now, it was ruled out for handball. It hit the top of Ekitike's arm. One of those goals that in the Premier League it would have stood. So Canate is threatening from corners. So I think a nice, easy way of doing it is to get Van Dijk out, bring in Canate. I still keep the Liverpool player for that Wolves and Leeds at home. Clean sheet opportunities. So that could be a route. The only other route would be if I wanted to maybe get rid of Virgil for somebody that I'm maybe a bit more assured of clean sheets than Liverpool. I could bring in Calafiori. That'd then give me the ability to make Dewsbury Hall a £5.3 midfielder. Now the problem is all of the £5.3 ones, it's like Xhaka, who seems to have dropped off, or Stack. Nobody excites me in that price bracket. So I'd have to then transfer somebody else out as well.
I'm surprised you're even considering anything else. But yeah, I mean,
I think the move.
Yeah, I think keep him if it's promising, because I think Dewsbury Hall is a good, solid hold for a long time. I think.
Yeah.
And you don't have all the transfers stacked up yet. You've used some of your transfers, so.
I've got 4 free, so I've got plenty to play with. No, that if I do those 2, they'll be the only 2. So then I'll roll the other 2 that I've got.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that makes sense.
That seems fine. Other options are Anderson, Keane, or Richards down to 4.0, or even 3.9 in Esteve, right? I mean, they're not going to be playing many games, are they? For you, I think probably looking at it might be Richards or Anderson, who are the weaker ones. Keane has a nice run coming up, right? So I think
it does.
And then the benefit that you've got there is that you've got a bit of price in Van Dijk, that after those games you can move them to Calafiori or someone else, right? So I probably wouldn't be adverse to that. But yeah, I think that's if Dewsbury Hall's out for medium term, I think I wouldn't hesitate making those moves.
Yeah, I've got to keep my
I think
good.
it's
Got to
worth
keep a good
considering.
Van
Yeah, not
Dijk.
even worth considering anything else if it's such an obvious obvious move.
Yeah, and then it'd be Van Dijk. Who, if this is the move I make, Van Dijk becomes Canate. Canate gets benched. Dewsbury Hall becomes
Mhm.
Wilson, and he plays, and it's a 3-5-2.
Yeah, like it,
Simple as that.
looking good, mate. Looking good. Yeah.
You've always taught me, mate. The obvious pick is the one to do, and that seems the obvious pick.
Well, I mean, the Canate one, maybe not so much, but yeah, getting Dewsbury Hall to Wilson, I think I wouldn't be fighting that as well. And I think he's still in his hot form, right? And he's got the teams coming up to continue that. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Quite jealous, but yeah, I like it, mate. I like
Is
it.
yours a bit more complicated?
Not really. So here's my team: Raya, Van Dijk, Anderson, Lacroix, Minter, Saka, Fernandez, Semenyo, Foden, Thiago, and kind of Haaland captain, of course. So it's looking fine. It's looking pretty good.
You're happy with that, mate?
Yeah,
That
I should
means
probably use a
yeah,
transfer
it's
because
rather
I got five. I got 5 free transfers, so I can look for those little marginal gains, right? So what don't I like about my team? I don't particularly like Semenyo or Minter, but Sunderland home, Burnley home, can't fight that. That's kind of got to be pretty happy
yeah.
with that. And Minter has nice games up until game week 20. I bench him going game week 18 against Arsenal. Right? He's got a nice little run. So I kind of continue with Minter. Yeah, we spoke about Semenyo. He's kind of very good player, so ticks along, but the stats have gone off a cliff and some tough games coming up. But keep him for Burnley, right? It's a bit of a cash cow. Yeah, this week really. So I'm not going to get rid of either of those guys next week. Saka, Fernandez, Foden, Thiago, Haaland, who I've had for quite a long time. Yeah, best attackers in the game at the moment, which is fine. I'm not a fan of having double Palace defense.
Yeah.
Just because it's going to be very rare that I play both of them, and it's really hard to work out who's better, Richards or Lacroix. I think Richards actually might be better for slightly cheaper price.
Cheaper.
And look at their fixtures: Leeds away,
Yeah.
Spurs home, Fulham home, Newcastle away, Villa home, Sunderland away, Chelsea home. I think that's tough for clean sheets, right?
Yeah. It's only
I,
1-2 from the FDR ranking.
and this is good. Mixed, but yeah, I think what's kind of weird is I've just got like I'm going to be benching one of them most weeks. I'm not going to want to play double, right? So I'm tempted. Van Dijk, I don't love him, but he's getting points and he does at the end of the day play for a good team. Like you'd think, just given the players, that they'll come around soon enough, and then there's those really sweet games, right? Game week 18, 19. It should be foolish, really, to move him unnecessarily before that, right? So probably the move I'm looking at, and I'm hoping I've got funds to do it, is probably Lacroix to
Oh,
O'Reilly.
he can just
Um,
on the
yeah,
nose.
I think Lacroix went up in. I think he might have raised in price, which might have helped me get the extra profit to kind of afford that last night. So yeah, then I'd potentially bench Van Dijk. I think I play
Yeah.
Anderson, Richards, O'Reilly, Raya. I could go an Arsenal defender, but I can't actually afford Hincapié, right? And I don't want to go White, right? I can't afford
Yeah.
Calafiori. Could go Van Dijk to Calafiori, but why would I force it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think City are looking, despite the tough game against Palace. Like I think there's something to say when you grind out a win where you didn't really deserve it. That they are looking good, right? And O'Reilly looks quite nailed, as you said. He started the day, came off 65 minutes.
Yeah.
Looks like Vardio. He's playing centre back with Diaz, and Aït-Nouri is in AFCON. So I'm more confident with his minutes now. So I think that's probably given I have to use a transfer, I'll get 5 free transfers. Otherwise, I'm burning it. Might as well do those incremental improvements. I think starting O'Reilly over Van Dijk is a incremental improvement, right?
I agree. I'd agree, mate. I think he is. I think it's a better move.
So I think
I mean,
that's
we won't talk. Yeah, we won't talk too much about the amount of grief you gave me for bringing in O'Reilly a few weeks ago. We'll leave that off the table.
Mate,
Um,
we talk about stuff like that could be like you desperate for transferring out Fernandez.
yeah, we'll ignore that. Don't worry about that one. Well, we skip these things. This is why we're award winning, because we don't know what we're doing. Just make it up.
You egging me on to use free hit.
You know what? The stats made sense, mate. As you've proved, it made sense to do it. It didn't work
Oh,
out, but I still think it was a good week to do it. Somebody else, yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, man.
No, you're too kind. You're too kind. Yeah, but like, yeah, I think O'Reilly at the time I was a bit skeptical with kind of minutes, and also DEFCON. But like, City since then have looked very, very good. I think obviously fixtures breed that, but they're looking very good. Quite good for clean sheets, kind of upcoming fixtures, and like, yeah, he's posting some nice numbers, and from a attacking point of view. But really, it's just that minute certainty. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable, given it's been like since you brought him in. I think there was like 290s, but since then it's been 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. And then there's the odd game where he's looking relentless attacking point of view. Like,
honestly, I wish he'd scored. I know he scored against Real Madrid. I wish he'd scored in the Premier League for me. Get those points in the
that
bag.
Leeds game, so game week 13, so not very long ago, right? 1.1 expected goal involvement. Wow. Sunderland 0.17. This is nice for a fullback, and it's not just obviously expected goal involvement when you're taking a shot. He's lurking in good areas as well, like just ready for a kind of pullback or something like that. So yeah, I think might as well do that. That improves my first 11 for this week, and I'm probably my squad moving forward because I don't have that double Palace dilemma where they are mixed fixtures, and like kind of realistically, I've got Richards anyway, who like I prefer at the moment. I think he's been hitting DEFCON is equal with Lacroix, but he's hitting it more weeks, so he's not getting the huge ones that sometimes Lacroix gets. But I think there's not much difference. That actually seems to be the two wide centre backs are getting more of the clearances than Lacroix, because obviously he plays the centre of the three deeper and whatnot for headers. But it seems like a lot of the defense contributions coming from Gay or Richards. So I think it's a bit of a no-brainer gift. So yeah, I can't see any better single move. Minter to Wilson would be frivolous. Semenyo to Wilson would be frivolous. I could look at that next week if I want to free up some cash, right?
Yeah. And I'm assuming you're going to be, because that's banged on, right? Now City have played. It looks like O'Reilly's come through it without an injury.
Yep.
When are you ready to pull the trigger? You're just going to keep your eye on that price, or you're gonna wait till Friday regardless and do something else if a price moves.
Yeah, well, it depends where it's at the price, but I'd probably be waiting, right? I think on this one. I'd probably if it's moving up in price tonight, I'd be a bit nervous. But like, I think I can tomorrow. I'd be happy making the move.
Yeah. There's both cup games tonight, wasn't it? Thinking about it, there's no English Premier League teams playing tomorrow. I think the Arsenal one was moved till next week, right?
Yeah,
so as long as nobody goes out tonight, then yeah, you should be good. But I agree. Seems a very good obvious move, and I'd be benching Van Dijk and playing O'Reilly. I think he'll get more points.
Yeah, and I think if it'd be more of a call whether it's be Richards or Van Dijk, I think I'd be leaning Richards. I think on that account, I think Spurs can score goals, and Liverpool's defense still isn't sound. I think Palace's defense is better, despite them conceding 3 and Liverpool conceding keeping a clean sheet the weekend. I mean, it kind of wasn't really reflective of the game flow. When's Wilson moving up? Because like the move you said was it was just the right amount of.
Bang on. It is bang on. He went up yesterday, so he's not due. He's not due again. I'm keeping my eye on it, but as soon as I get him priced out, it depends which defender I end up moving, mate. Because if it's to save 0.5 in the defence, I'll have to do it straight off the bat. If it's to save go to a Esteve as an example, then I can wait.
That's no difference, really. Moving Anderson or Richards to Esteve is the same as bringing in Mukiele or
somebody.
Alderete. Exactly. Yeah, it's like all those guys are pretty much identical, right?
Yeah. So I can probably wait an extra price, unless I do the Van Dijk to Canate, and then I'd have to do it. The only thing that puts me off that is Canate is now and again. If Liverpool are behind, he seems to be the make way to Canate off, get another midfielder on. so he sometimes doesn't even get to 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So
No, I kind of you got a few options. Yeah, I think for me it's one.
yeah.
So I'll be keeping an eye. I'll have a look now at the price rises and then kind of see what's what. I could make it tonight. Thing is, I got lots of transfers that it's not a disaster if I need to do something else. And still, I'd have Van Dijk on my bench who's like perfectly serviceable as well, right? So, yeah, I think quite an easy one. I think that's nice when you got like lots of transfers, you can make these like luxury, like small improvements, right? Normally you wouldn't do this sort of stuff, but when you've got like so many transfers, rather than burning it, you can do these things.
Yeah. I like it, pal. I like it. And thank you as always for joining and sharing your knowledge.
No,
Your
no worries, man.
award-winning
There was a
knowledge.
rumor I was going to call in sick, right? With the FreeHit shocker.
Well, you might have seen the name of the episode of Matt delete his team. That is just for those that are listening. Matt did text me to say he was deleting his team. This wasn't me tweeting fun. Just to put that off the table.
It's like you must have lots of kind of contacts in the fantasy world now. Who can we agitate to kind of bring out a classic FPL game, right?
Focal?
No chips, no nonsense.
We know Focal. I once spoke to Mark Southerns, and he built the game. So we'll try and get him involved. I think he works for them now, does he not? Has he gone back to them? He's left a black box.
We're not going to name names just so it's defamation when we say
sorry.
who's to blame to bring out the extra round of chips. But yeah,
Mark what? Don't know who you're about.
But let's when you start agitating for this, bring it. I would bring back 3 lots of the assistant manager, or no chips at all.
Yeah. I'm glad they got rid of that. They realised it was a mistake, so I'm
Back in
happy
the day, it was the randomness was captaining in Charlie Austin for a double game week. None of this chip nonsense.
What about bringing back the all-out attack?
Yeah, imagine that'd be a ripe thing to just getting like negative points, given like how good DEFCON and defenders are now. Imagine that. That'd be that'd be an interesting one. Chips that are going to be actively damaging. So you use it where you lose the least points, right? You won't be gaining anything. That was a weird one. Yeah.
I'll have a word. For you, Matt. We'll see what we can do.
Well, we're still doing all right. We're still doing all right, but I think you're holding the torch. Just don't screw it up from here.
I'll try not to, mate. We'll see what we can do to keep it going.
Yeah, we can bring back the old title then.
Well, Jenny to 10k achieved or something along those. I've still got to get there, mate. We'll see.
Well, I'd be the apprentice then, and then we can bring back the journey to 10k. Bit too long a title, but we'll see what we can do. I guess that means you can nominate for awards again as the best newcomer.
Exactly that. We'll get another one of these in the back, like just to smack over this shoulder somewhere. I'll put it up on the wall. Where's my camera? There. I'll put it up on the wall back here somewhere. Or you can have one. We'll get one each. That works.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but yeah, you're adamant you're going to take that home yourself. And I was like, thanks for offering.
It's exactly how it happened. That's what we'll tell them. That's what'll stick.
No, I think we're both like, where does it go to? I think we've both been very polite. You deserved it for the writing the intro video and clip.
But now we're one of those annoying people on Facebook that sits there with plaques and certificates in the background, just like, hey, check this out. So
it's not bad. It's better than under 14's most improved player of the season, right? It's 100-meter swimming awards. Yeah, it's nice. Nice.
If this award was good enough for Peter Crouch, BBC, and Liverpool Football Club, it's good enough for FPL Apprentice. That's all I'm saying.
That's spot on. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for your move. Actually, I kind of Hope it backfires, but I mean, I want you
Of
to.
course, of
We
course.
need. We both want and we both need you to do well this season. So yeah, I think whatever you do, I hope it comes off. I think yeah,
Thank you.
that Wilson move is nice. Yeah, and I'll be most likely joining the O'Reilly gang, right? So yeah, I was proven
You
wrong by
can
you. Happy
board.
to be proven
Welcome
wrong
on board.
as well.
Yeah. Join the club, and thank you for joining us, Matt. And whatever, well, when you bring in O'Reilly, I hope he well and truly delivers.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But yeah, good to join. And yeah, thanks to everyone listening and watching. It's always a real privilege for having you guys join us. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. May your hours be green. And if you do have a chance, like and subscribe, all that kind of all that jazz. But yeah, good luck for the upcoming weekend.
See you then.